Hello everybody, this is Janai here once again, and I'm back with another toy review. And as you can see from the title, it's a return to basics, because I haven't done one of these toy reviews for a long time and my backlog is huge. But if you remember from a long time ago, I reviewed the Ultraman Dyna Miracle-Type figure from 1997. And of course this is still one of my favorite figures, but it wasn't actually one of my firsts. Now, my first Ultraman figure that I've ever purchased, not counting any kaiju, just Ultraman itself, was another Ultraman Dyna Miracle-Type from the 2000 line. And I was able to, I purchased it back in 2004, and I have since lost it. But, lucky me, because I found an entire bundle of Ultra Hero Series Ultraman Dyna crap on Yahoo Japan auction, and so I bid, and I won. And here's the review. So, today's review is going to be on the Ultraman Dyna Miracle-Type figure from 2000, the 2000 line. Of course, it was completely loose. There was nothing that came with it. It just came wrapped in a bag, and it has been refurbished before. So there's a little bit of paint inconsistency on there, but I think it's fine for now. So without further ado, let's just get on to detail. If this face looks familiar to you, it should, because it is literally the exact same toy as before. Now, one of the things that really kind of sucks about the 2000 line, especially for Dyna's other forms other than his main Flash type, is that they reused the original toys. So this Miracle type that you're seeing here is literally a semi reissue of the original, minus the new arms that were made for it. So everything else about the figure is actually identical to before. For comparison's sake, let's bring in the original. The only tiny little bit of difference is in the plastic color and the coloring on it. So the original has a more milky yellow kind of eye color, while the new variant has the traditional yellow eyes with the white highlights on them. One of the other things that are different about this variant is that the blue pattern on the crystal up here is actually painted on instead of just bare plastic as it was in the original coloring. I have no idea why they did this, but I think it looks fine regardless. The new arms do look great though. They are very slender, and they actually have Dyna's glove cut done right, versus the original where they look kind of off. So here's a quick comparison. As you can see, the gloves are now done correctly. The wrist cuffs are facing forward instead of being inverted as it is seen on this original figure. Everything else about the toy is identical. This is a very paint-heavy figure from the original line. And of course, there's some bad touch-up done by the child that owned this before I did, but I think it's fine regardless of what it might appear as. Moving on to articulation, everybody knows how the Ultra Hero Series figures works. So you have the two arms and you have the torso. Now this toy is made of a very, very soft vinyl versus the original, which is semi-hard. And I do kind of prefer it that way, even though it's a little bit more better for structural integrity if we keep it as harder vinyl. Finally, let's get on to size comparison. Now, if you know the Ultra Monster series release schedule for Ultraman Dyna, you will know that Bandai was not very kind towards the kaiju that fought Dyna in Miracle-Type, because most of the monsters in this Rogues Gallery, including my three favorites, top favorites at least, are actually fought by Strong Type or just by Flash Type, which is kind of upsetting. But in any case, I took out almost every single monster that he did fight in Miracle-Type, so let's get on with the comparison. In chronological order, let's start with the first guy, Garaon, from episode 13 and episode 30, Monster Factory and the scenario and invasion scenario, respectively. Of course, the scaling for these guys are all completely wrong because Ultra Hero Series figures are way too tall as is. Next up, let's try Bazubu. If I remember correctly, this monster is from episode 26. No, it's from episode 34, The Moment of Decision. And of course, it's a little off as well, or way off. Next up, let's try the most iconic Dyna monster to this point in history, from episodes 25 and 26, the moving fortress Kolakirf cannot surface, Recubus. And it's exactly what you might think it is. Next up, let us try a monster from episode 27, Monster Game. My custom painted Demogorgon. And of course it's completely wrong as well. Finally, let's finish off the look, not in chronological order anymore, I'm sorry, with the 2000 variant from the same year of Deathfacer as seen in Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Dyna, Warriors of the Star of Light. And this is the one decent comparison that we've made so far. And finally, we'll wrap up this size comparison bit with the original Ultraman Dyna Miracle-Type from back in 1997. And these two are actually quite identical. The original is a little bit thicker around the chest, mainly because mold degradation probably shrank the mold a little bit. So in the end, that was a very quick look at my very first Ultraman figure ever. Now I'm looking at this rating here with completely rose-tinted nostalgia glasses, and I have to give it a 5 out of 5 because that would be because if I didn't, that would be disrespectful of myself back in 2004. However, if I did take my nostalgia glasses off, I can only give this thing a 4 out of 5 in general. It is a very nice it is a very nicely redone version of the original Miracle-Type, in which the blue looks a lot better, and I enjoyed the fists. However, because it's a reissue of the original figure, the same problems with the original do exist still, which is that the chest sculpting is not 100% accurate, it's a little too thin. And the face, it's not up to par with modern day Ultraman Dyna figures. Furthermore, they didn't carry over some of the better features on the original 1997 version. For example, the posed hands are left out on this release. And that is a little bit of a shame because the Ultraman Tiga figure from the same year actually had posing hands, leaving it as the last Ultraman figure with posing hands. So it's quite a shame that this figure, as well as the Strong Type released the same year, lost most of those features. But in any case, if you are able to find this figure for under $10, I would definitely recommend you pick it up. It is a fine figure, even though it is very hard to come by in very good shape, mainly because of how much silver is on the toy. But in any case, the final rating for the most majority of viewers would be a 4 out of 5. I strongly recommend you seek it out. This is Yanai, and I will see you guys next time.